Okay, we're going to be on page 193 of your workbook. It'll say 9.3 two-way tables up at the top. Okay, and this is just another way that you can look at data, but a two-way table is kind of just what it says. You have two different categories that are kind of interchangeable, I guess you could say. You'll kind of see more when we start going through this. So first of all, we're just going to look at how you read a two-way table, and then we'll get into actually making two-way tables in a little bit. So if you look at activity 1, it says you are the manager of a sports shop. So take Forest City Footwear, for instance. The two-way table shows the number of soccer t-shirts that your shop has left in stock at the end of the season. So we have the color of the shirt over here on the side, and we have the size of the shirt located on the top. So there are your two categories. Okay, part A says the first thing you're going to do is you are going to complete the totals for the rows and for the columns. And if you notice, they have a total section over here and a total section along the bottom. So to get the total over here, this is going to be the total blue and white t-shirts that they have left. So 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Total of 12 in that row. Okay? Going across here, 3 plus 6 is 9, 14, 15, 16. 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they have the grand total here at the bottom, so these 5 numbers should add up to 65. Now, totals along the bottom, we're just going to add the total of smalls, total mediums, and so on. So for smalls, 5, that'd be 8, 12, 15, 20. Number of mediums, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18. Larges, 6, 10, 11, 14. Extra large, 2, 3, 4, 5. And double X, 2, that's 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I did was just add up each column and each row. Now, part B says, are there any black and gold extra large t-shirts in stock? Okay, so black and gold, I'm going to find that. That's right here. And I'm going to come over to extra large, and I want you to circle that right there. That's how many black and gold extra larges they have. So no, they don't. And to justify, there is a 0 where those two categories meet. Okay? So that's basically reading a two-way table. Now, a couple of definitions that I want you to add in here. First one I want you to add in is what's called a marginal frequency. So you may be asked to find the marginal frequency of the table, and all that is the sum of the rows and columns. That's exactly what we just figured out. Okay, so those numbers and these numbers along the bottom, those are all called marginal frequencies. Okay, the other one I want you to write in is called a joint frequency, and that is each individual number in the table. Okay, so all of these numbers all throughout the entire table, those are all your joint frequencies. Okay, so if you're ever asked to find either the joint frequencies or the marginal frequencies, you have those definitions there to help you remember what they mean. Okay, now part C says the number of t-shirts you ordered at the beginning of the season are shown below. Complete the two-way table. So this represents what you ordered. Remember, the first one was what you had left at the end of the season. So I just need to go through and complete the totals. Okay, so there are 5 rows here. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 sixes is 30. 5 sevens is 35. 5 sixes is 30. 5 fives is 25. So that total was pretty easy. Going across, if you notice, all of these are going to be the exact same number because they have the same numbers in each row. So 5 and 6 is 11. Another 11 would be 22, plus 7 would be 29. So all of these are going to be 29. And then to get the grand total, I can just add these 29s together or add all these numbers along the bottom together. They'll give you the same answer. So here I have 5 29s, so 145. So at the very beginning of the season, you ordered 145 shirts total. Now, moving over to the next page, and we'll answer some questions about this. Okay, D says, how would you alter the number of t-shirts you order for next season? So if you compare how many you ordered to how many you have left, and do that for each size, that's going to give you a good, tell you pretty good what to order, what you need to order more of next year, what you need to order less of next year as well. Now, up on the very first example that we looked at with how many shirts you had left over, it said you had 65 shirts left over. So, first thing I'm going to say is you don't need to order as many shirts next year. Now, the one question they asked us that we answered 0 on was how many, I believe it was black and gold shirts did you have left over? And there was a 0 in that column. So you could add in here to order more of those, and they were the extra larges. Order more of those. And find a size and a color that had a lot left over. You don't need to order as many of those for next year. Okay, so a few different reasonings you could have in there. Now let's move on down and look at activity 2. It says the 3-dimensional two-way table shows information about the number of hours students at a high school work at part-time jobs during the school year. Okay, so we have the boys over here, girls over here, and those that work 0 hours a week, 1 to 7 hours a week, or 8 or more hours per week. Okay, so A wants us to make a two-way table showing this data. And it says use estimation to find the entries, because if you notice, not all of them go exactly to a specific number. So I'm going to put my two-way table up over here where I have more room and you can still see the graph. But first thing we need to realize is what the two categories are. We have gender, boys and girls, and we have the number of hours per week. Okay, so I'm going to put boys and girls over on the left. Well, that's not a straight line, but we'll go with it. And then we'll put the hours worked up here. So we had 0 hours per week. We had 1 to 7 hours per week. We had 8 plus hours per week. Okay. We need a column for the total and a row for the total of each one. Okay, and then we just start filling in numbers. So how many boys worked 0 hours per week? So that would be way back here, just over 140. I'm going to say about 142. How many boys worked 1 to 7 hours? That would be right here. I'm going to say about 118. How many worked 8+ hours? I'm going to say right at about 70. Okay, for girls, how many girls worked 0 hours? That looks to be the same. Maybe a little, about the same. It's hard to tell in this two-way table. I'm going to go with the same thing. How many girls, and it's a little harder to see the girls' side of this. How many girls worked 1 to 7 would be this one. And it looks like that may be, looks like it's a little higher than the boys, maybe 120. And then how many worked 8+ is this one up here. Okay, it looks about the same as the other one, so I'll say 120 again. Okay, now go in and fill in the totals. Okay, when you get the grand total down here, it's probably going to be different for the sum of the column and the sum of the rows. Okay, so go ahead and fill in those totals, and then we'll come back and we will revisit those in just a moment. Okay, now I am shocked because I ended up getting the same total each time I did this. I got a total of 712. So, if we come down, we did A, we made our two-way table. Okay, if we look at B, it says write 2 observations that you can make that summarize the data in your table. Okay, so what's some observations that we make? Okay, one big difference right here, I see a huge difference here between boys and girls that work 8+ hours a week. So one observation that I'm going to make is that girls tend to work more hours in the week. Okay, that was the 8+, and I'll go ahead and put that in parentheses. One more observation that I make, if I look at totals, okay, I'm going to say most students don't work any hours. There were more in the 0 column than there were 1 to 7 or 8+. So we'll just say more students work 0 hours than 1 to 7 or 8+. Okay, now let's look at C. A newspaper article claims that more boys than girls drop out of high school to work full-time. Do the data support this claim? Okay, well, if more boys than girls drop out of high school to work full-time is working 8 hours a week. Does our data show that more boys work full-time than girls do? And our data does not support that. It actually supports the opposite. More girls do. So we'll say no, because 70 boys work full-time as opposed to 120 girls. Okay, so there's a pretty big discrepancy there in the data. Now, refer back to Canvas for your assignment that goes along with this. Reading two-way tables. Keep in mind, your marginal frequencies are your totals. Your joint frequencies are all of the individual numbers that are in the two-way table.